You're barking up the wrong tree. Transgender women are trying to look like real women. You are totally, you're backwards. How on God's green earth can real women want to be like transgender women? You guys want to get the breasts like us, the vaginas like us, the men like us, the pretty faces like us, the hair like us, the makeup like us. Come on now.
It's actually looking better on us, though.
Absolutely not.
Could you please direct me to your surgeon? I would like to get my like yours or your breast.
Sidney,
your breast
is
so natural.
1,000 girls on Instagram who has your exact.
I don't That's true.
And I'm sure you seen your ass on Nicki Minaj or Kim Kardashian. What made you want to get your ass?
To that comment section.
Wait.
And I promise you'll see if this is a trend.
Hold up. Where did you see your ass? What made you wanted to get your ass? You seen either Nicki Minaj or Kim Kardashian. You seen a woman with that. You didn't see no man with that.
The thing is,
answer the question.
I got my ass before there was a Nicki Minaj.
Okay, but did you see a woman with that ass? Did you see a woman? Exactly.
All right, gang. So I was getting ready to get some rest, but I had to go ahead and do the audio for this content. Y'all know what's up, real ones, gang. It's me, Shamulan, Real Talk Society podcast. So if you're not, well, let me go here. So Sidney Starr is a transgender woman. She's tried to do, I heard that, y'all. So she tried to do, reality TV, things like that, and kind of be the face of, transgender women. Not saying she is, but, she kind of shoots for that. Now, she's on this show. I'll give the details later because I saw it on Instagram. And she's basically saying that women want to be like transgender women. Now, the young lady who was going back and forth with her, I definitely agree with her because the reality is a transgender woman, from what I understand, is transforming from being a biological male, which is going to still be biologically that. That's what they were born as, but they have good cosmetic surgeons who are able to give them, placement for a vagina spot and that type of thing, reconstructive surgery, breasts, enhance their butt, just give them the contour, the couture that they need to, I think it's contour. I don't even feel like looking. So just give them the shape that they desire that is more feminine. Now, I stay away from LGBT community business, but when you go ahead and involve women, I have the right to say something because, granted, I have a deep voice, but I'm definitely a whole female with 3 children, married to my husband, etc. I'm a female, so I have the right to have an opinion on this. Now, she says it looks better on the trans women, etc. Now, what I've seen a lot, let me go here. What I've seen a lot in recent years, like people always wore makeup and stuff like that. But if you notice over the years, things have changed a lot where everybody is focused on getting their face beat, that type of thing. So with that being said, although some men have natural beauty traits like a female, because I've seen a guy that got a baby face, look like a girl, like girl features or whatever, but it's definitely a man. But when you have everybody, like even when you look at the women, when they get their makeup done, it's a lot of them just look the same. And I scroll by and I'm like, yo, I thought that was such and such. So everybody getting their face beat allows for more, for the transgender community to also be in that atmosphere, in that area, getting their face beat, that type of thing. And you can't really tell the difference in some cases. Now, some men you can look at, or transgender women, and look at them and know that they were a male first. Despite, I heard the too. Oh my God, I have to work on that. With the, the features, you might know that that's possibly a dude, but then there are females, biologically born women who have attributes that their face may be strong or, just things like that. And they may look masculine, but they're really a woman. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. The problem I have is how women get downplayed against or compared to transgender women when that shouldn't be a conversation. A woman shouldn't have to feel like she has to downplay who she is because she's a natural born woman. Like, I get being respectful of the pronouns and those different things, and if somebody has changed and they identify as this, identify as that, I definitely get it. But it's not fair to criticize us as natural women feeling like we can't have an opinion or stand up for ourselves, or we're wrong. It's kind of like being black. If you stand up and you're pro-black, doesn't mean you're anti any other ethnicity or culture or whatever, nationality, race, whatever. You're not anti that, but you're pro-black, especially when you see the system and different things where we are oppressed in different areas, and it's designed that way. And I know a lot of people get tired of hearing that and say that we're pushing a narrative, which I don't, because I could care less. I believe in God. I stand under that. I don't care about anything else. I see everything going on. I do care about the rights of everyone, equality, and that type of thing, but I don't get caught up in the nonsense, right? Or you'll be at it all day. But don't ever think that I'm going to make myself feel less than a woman because I have to accommodate for someone else who's changing into that and may be sensitive to different things. So now, I'm going to take it to Boosie. Everybody gets on Lil Boosie. If you don't know Boosie is a rapper out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's dope. He does his thing. He's been around for a long time. And what I like about Boosie the most is that if he feels a way, he says something, people try to call him homophobic and stuff like that. I don't think he's homophobic. I think that he sees the same thing that everyone else sees, that over time we have seen more LGBT community uplifting, people more comfortable with themselves and stuff like that. So we're seeing more of that on television. And some people are like how they got on Duval because he said old fashioned. Like, some people are used to heterosexual relationships. It was a time where if you were gay or whatever you were going through on that spectrum, people had to hide it, which no one should have to hide who they are. It's your choice. You're free to be and do what you want. I do not care. My preference is my preference. I prefer a guy. But the point that I'm making is Boosie, it was this transgender woman who was swimming. I don't know if it was Olympics or something of that nature. And he basically said it was unfair for her to be in the race with natural born, biological women, because naturally, yes, he may be transgender. Well, she may be transgender, but still has that same strength as a male. So given, yes, you are transitioning or have transitioned, but the fact still stands that you still have the capabilities of a man. And there are some women that are stronger than men, but by nature, men are normally the stronger sex by nature, right? So that's just generalizing. That's not for individual cases that may be different, because sometimes I get Hulk Hogan strength and I don't know where I get it from. But I definitely know that when it comes to certain things, I'm not stronger physically than a man, although I'll push myself to the limit. But I would not want to be in a space where it's just like how they have male basketball, you have, NBA, WNBA, you have the NFL, you have women leagues or whatever that does, football, that type of thing. I just feel that where Boosie was coming from was saying, okay, well, if that's the case, let's just, I'm looking at it like this by what I heard him say, not to say that's how he feels, but hey, create a lane for transgender women or transgender men. That's not saying that you don't count or you're not equal. It's just that if you're going to have that particular, if you want to do this, you still have certain strength. It's separated for a reason. So it just gives crazy for me. And everything is so, everyone is so upset about everything. No one can have an opinion. no one, and I'm sure it's going to be probably somebody under this comment with some weird opinion, when I definitely don't care. I'm just speaking from how I view it. It's nothing wrong with that. And one thing people have to understand, just because somebody has a difference in opinion does not mean that they are not, like, they're against it. They're against the person or the group of people. Just because my son might make a decision today, just because I don't agree with the decision he made doesn't mean I'm against him. So it's the same concept. Just because I might have a view of how something should be handled doesn't mean that I'm against transgender men or women or anybody a part of the LGBT community. And I think I'm leaving out some letters for the acronyms because I believe some stuff got added on. So please do not fault me for that, because again, I don't stay caught up in that type of thing. I look at everybody as human. I do not get caught up in the different things. I respect where everyone is. I have what I believe in, but I would never force it on anybody. I have a sister that is a lesbian. I have a cousin that is gay. I do not care. I literally don't care. I just want to respect everybody's playing field, but that should be for everyone. So if we go back I'm going to go back to Boosie when he was talking about, like, on TV, we see more of this, which is natural because you're going to see more relationships of that nature, because now everyone is getting put in a space of equality. And in the same way, let's just say being black with the Little Mermaid thing, people want to see someone who looks like them. And I'm not going to dip into that too much because I have something special coming up with a group of women on a different panel, but just using that because that's the first thing popped in my mind. So it's gonna be, you're gonna have where people are excited about different things when they see something and they want to see somebody. Okay, we can even go as far as let's just use the President Obama, Michelle Obama, First Lady, prior First Lady, prior President. It was cool for some people to look at office and see someone that looks like them. When you come up and you're raised in an environment, like, everybody wasn't born and raised in the suburbs, middle class. Some people are born in areas of poverty. Well, you would never see anybody be anything as far as a doctor, a lawyer. Not saying it doesn't happen, so please don't mistake what I'm saying, because people like to just create a narrative that's not there. So because there are plenty of people who come from those environments and they fight hard and make something out of themselves. But on average, when you walk out of your door in the inner city of a poverty area, you're going to see drug dealers, murderers, people murdered, prostitutes, boosters. You're going to see everything, exotic dancers. You will see everything you can think of in those areas. And I'm not saying any of those people who indulge in those things are bad people. I'm just saying that is what you see. Now, some of those things lead you into prison, death, those types of things. If you're overly promiscuous and you're out doing certain things, prostitution, whatever. I know some people may protect themselves. That can give you the odds are higher for you to maybe contract different things. And I'm not saying you can't, just being on the other end, because you have people who get married, probably had sex once and their spouse cheat, or the person they get with may have something, and it could be their first go round. So again, we can go all day with how we can give the pros and cons, rebuttal different things. And it's so sad that people have to think before they speak to not think before they speak to have a rebuttal before you give a rebuttal, just in explaining themselves and their views, right? I'm very open-minded. So anyway, to see, if you see, because I was talking about Boosie, and just like what he was saying about what you see on TV, et cetera, et cetera. So I kind of lost my thought, and I do that sometimes because I go off into other things. But on TV, when you see different things, I'll just use my kids. So my kids know, even with heterosexual relationships, you cover your eyes or you're going to get out the room if a scene comes on, or the living room, you leave whatever space we're in if the scene is not right. Obviously, you're not going to put your child in a position to watch certain things. But you might just be watching a show, and when kids are growing up, you have little kids, you watch what you're going to watch, and they might just walk in, hey, cover your eyes, or walk out on this, whatever. So it's this. I don't think it's a bias. I think when Lil Nas X did what he did on TV and kids were watching, I don't think it was just because it was a Lil Nas X. For me, it's if it was, it could have been two heterosexual people in a relationship on live TV. I would have felt the same way. Like, they could have kept that somewhere else because you got kids watching. So I don't think it's so much so what it is. Now, everybody has the right to feel what they feel. When you have your religious beliefs, you might feel that you don't accept this, or you wouldn't want this in your environment, but that doesn't mean that you hate other people who are that particular thing. So it's just a lot. But just to go back to Sidney Starr, I think that she should be more mindful of how she speaks to people. And from my understanding, or speak about women who were born women, I don't even think she changed. Excuse me, I told you all I'm so ready for a nap right now. I had a long day. So she, from what I saw on Baddies, if you watch Zeus, Baddies season 2 with Natalie Nunn, season 1 with Natalie Nunn, what's her name? Dang, the Creole girl. Oh my God, I know her name, and it's just not there. But she's from Louisiana, Judy. She said and it gets confusing for me because her lower part is still of a man's anatomy according to what Judy said. So are you trans once? And I think this matters too, just educating people. Are you trans before? What makes you trans? Is it once you change your body part, your private part from one to the other? Or you still have that body part, but you have your boobs, you have your, if you get your boobs, if you get your butt done, and you have your lower part still the same that you were born with, are you trans, or are you working on being trans? Or if you decide that you don't even want to change that, like, I used to watch this show, oh my God, it was, and it would be like the house of Darion and the house of this. Oh my, I can't forget. Is it, dang, what is it? It started with a P. And I watched every season, and I don't think it's Pose. And I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but I really enjoyed it because I learned a lot about the LGBT community. So that goes to show you right there that I could care less. P-Valley, all these different shows. I watch everything because I might like the content or the storylines, and I learn as I go. And so on that particular show, it was this lady, I forgot her name, she's a transgender woman, and she was like, not changing her body part was like a thing. I think the person who she was dealing with, she was like a brown skin, and she was like at the top, and she had like a fall eventually or whatever, but she was considered a mother because in the community, just taking people in and being there for them and stuff like that is a thing. And she was like, well, he doesn't want me to change this because it changed the narrative. So now, it changes everything. So for that, I guess maybe the attraction level, because I guess some men, if they're indulging, it kind of like, okay, you have the boobs, you have the butt, but I still want you to have a penis. I feel more comfortable because I'm getting what I want. But then on the flip side, you still have this. So what happens there? Are you still considered to be trans if you have not changed the part? If you're not willing to, I don't know. So sometimes it just takes education. But my whole point for going over all of this was just to say that, be mindful. Everybody deserves to still be who they are. Don't beat us women up on your journey, because not every woman is looking at a trans woman like, oh, you want to be a woman. Because I don't even think about that. And I'm sorry, because I find myself speaking Ebonics when I'm on here, and sometimes I just don't care. But Sometimes I do. But for the grammar police, trust me, I know exactly what I'm saying. And if I listen back, sometimes I've already done it and I don't want to go back and edit it. So I'll just leave it as is. But don't think that it's a competition or that women who are biological women, are not all women, because I can't speak for everybody. Everyone is not in a space where we're looking at you all like, yo, you want to be a woman so bad. No, because who really cares? You have to live with your life just like we have to live with our life. Everyone has their own battles, being who they are, and I don't think no one should make it harder for anyone else. And someone might say, oh, but you're Christian, you believe in the Bible, this, and that. Yeah, and I'm not perfect. I'm working every day to get where I want to be in God. But I also understand in that same word, although we're taught to do things a certain way, it also tells us not to judge anyone. So if people stood by that, it would be a better world. Like, I'm not going to judge anyone for the choices they make because I'm not the one that has to live it. Just like as it pertains to my life, I feel like mind your business. So it is what it is. And I just wanted to speak out on that. And yeah, y'all already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, however you feel. You can put it there. And again, disclaimer, I do not have any issues with the LGBT community. I will always speak my mind on how I feel. And if I agree, I agree. If I don't, I don't. If I'm neutral, I'm neutral. That's just what it is here. And no one is ever going to make me feel like, because when I created this platform, I felt like I won't talk about this or I won't talk about that. But you know what? I am who I am. And everybody in my life knows that. So if I'm not afraid to speak my mind to people who I love and care about, who've been in my life forever, why would I have to feel like I can't speak my mind out to the public? If you are one of the real ones and you're a part of the gang, if you're not, you can respect my mind or not be on my platform. And it's simple as that. I enjoy speaking. I enjoy putting my thoughts in the atmosphere. And you're going to get days where I talk about good. Some days I'll talk about bad. But it just is what it is. Anyway, y'all already know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.